Hi everyone! This is a quick video on how to upgrade our OpenEdX platform from the Quince release to the Redwood release. Here we assume that you are already familiar with OpenEdX and Tutor. If you're not, then I encourage you to have a look at the intro videos from our channel. On the right side of my screen, you can see my terminal, which will include all the commands that I run and their output. The history of commands will be in the top right part of this screen. So you will see the commands that I run, but not their output. This is useful for quick reference. Let me show you. There. And on the left side of my screen is my browser, where we should be able to see our platform upgrade in real time. Okay, let's jump right in. So Redwood was released last month. If you are watching this from the distant future, it means June 2024. Redwood is a major release that is packed with some very important features. We can review the changes in the OpenEdX documentation. And actually, this step is absolutely mandatory because we really want to know if there are some breaking changes in this new release. So there are 3 pages that you must review. The link for these 3 pages is in the video description. First, we must review the feature-based release notes. Of particular interest to us here is a section on the Studio facelift. As we will see, the Studio user interface was very much improved in Redwood. Second, we must review the developer and operator release notes. These notes are very technical, but the good news is that we don't have to understand all of it, because Tutor takes care of most of the hard work for us. Finally, we must review the Tutor release notes themselves. From Quince to Redwood, Tutor was upgraded from 17.06 to 18.11. Of particular interest to us here are the items that are prefixed with an explosion symbol. These are breaking changes in the Tutor release. But then again, these release notes can be quite technical. The good news is that if some items are unclear to you, it probably means that you shouldn't bother about them at all. Okay, that was the first part. Now that we have read the release notes, we know that we want to get all of these shiny new features in our platform, so we want to upgrade. And we have an existing OpenEdX platform running on the Quince release. Here's the LMS page. And here's the Studio page. On our server, we can check that we are running Tutor version 17. Note that Quince starts with a Q, and Q is the 17th letter in the alphabet, which is why Tutor version 17 is for Quince. And once we upgrade, we will be running Tutor 18 something. So what is the next super important thing that we always need to do in case of a major software upgrade? I'll give you 2 seconds. Yes! We need a backup. Luckily, this is very easy to do with Tutor. So first of all, we stop our platform by running tutor local stop. Then what we're going to do is to back up all the data related to OpenEdX with a simple rsync command. So as you can see, I'm going to run this command as sudo to back up all the files with all the right permissions. And because Tutor stores all data in a single directory, it's very easy to make a backup that we can go back to later in case of trouble. Okay, we have a backup. That means that we are ready to roll. So let's upgrade Tutor first. We do this by installing the latest Tutor packages along with all official plugins. We can check that the latest version was installed by running, here again, Tutor version. And we can check that plugins have also been upgraded by running Tutor plugins list. And we can see that all plugins are 18 something. Now that we have upgraded Tutor, we are ready to upgrade our OpenEdX platform. So Tutor works very hard to handle as much as possible of the upgrade process in a single command. And that command is tutor local launch. When we run this command, Tutor warns us that we should really make a backup. But we've already done that, so we are good to go. Let's press enter. Tutor has detected that we are running an older version of OpenEdX, and it is now applying a few upgrades. Most important of them is the MongoDB upgrade from 4 something to 6.0. And here I need to give you a word of warning. If by any chance you have run any other command before running tutor local launch, then you would have overridden your own tutor environment, and thus Tutor would not have been able to detect that it is running an older version. So for instance, if we had been running here tutor.quince save, then Tutor would not have been able afterward to detect that we were running an older version. So in that case, we would need to run the local upgrade from Quince command. But we're not going to do this here because we properly run a tutor local launch without running first tutor.quince save. And by the way, I realized that I told you something wrong. We're not upgrading to MongoDB 6, we're upgrading to MongoDB 7.07. Okay. Then Tutor warns us of something. If we are running custom Docker images, then now is the time to rebuild them. But this is not the case here because we are running a vanilla OpenEdX platform. So we just press enter. And now comes the classic interactive platform configuration part, where we just want to keep the same settings. So we can just press enter and we're good to go. So from this point onwards, we don't have anything to do. So we can just kick back and relax. You do that, well, I explain what is going on. So first of all, Tutor stops any existing platform, but we had already stopped the platform here, so there's no need to go through that step. Then it is starting the updated containers. And at this point, we could be tempted to reload our platform here, but it's probably not going to work very well because initialization tasks have not been applied yet. And this is what's going on here. We are running the initialization tasks, and these includes all steps that must be performed anytime we change a configuration setting in OpenEdX. And this includes, in particular, database migrations and waffle flags and a lot of stuff that you probably don't want to learn about. So here I stand corrected. It appears that the learner dashboard can launch without running the initialization tasks, but please don't do that. I mean, it's extremely likely that your platform is going to be in a broken state. So here we are applying database migrations for the LMS, and there are many of them. And because of that, it's going to take a very long while. So yeah, maybe that's this is the right time to go and fetch some coffee. I'll do just that while you watch the migrations. I'll be right back. And I'm back. It appears that LMS migrations are over. Yeah, this looks good. Then database migrations were also applied for the CMS, but there are very few of them, just 3 here, which is very unusual for an OpenX release. Then we run the initialization tasks for the forum because we are running the forum plugin. What else? I'm guessing next is micro frontend. So these are one-off tasks that are run to enable the Indigo theme. And here we are enabling a bunch of toggles to enable micro frontends. You definitely don't want to learn about that. So full disclaimer, this step is currently pretty slow, but it's going to get much faster in the very near future, probably in the next release of the MFE plugin. I'm going to eat the rest of my sandwich while you watch this. And I'm back. So the upgrade has completed successfully. You can check that by reloading our LMS and Studio pages. And lo and behold, the studio.openx.speedrun.xyz has changed to apps.openx.speedrun.xyz, indicating that the core studio has migrated to a new dedicated front end in Redwood. And this guarantees that we're running the latest release. And that's it. Enjoy your brand new OpenX platform running Redwood. Remember to watch the space for more videos on OpenX. Bye everyone.